everyone. Welcome to another podcast, Life with a Purpose. I believe this one, podcast episode 16. I want to explain it was the Lord who showed me what to call my podcast, because I was talking to my pastors one time about starting a podcast, and the Lord was stirring it in me too, about so I could talk to you one-on-one or face-to-face. But I was trying to think what to call it. I really had no idea what to call it. Then I was talking to my pastors about it, and my pastor, she said, I'll give you one word and then you make the sentence. And so as soon as she said the word purpose, I came out with life with a purpose. And so that's how it all started. And that's how I called it Life with a Purpose. Because that was exactly what I wanted to show, that my life has purpose. And that's exactly what I'm doing, showing that my life has the purpose. Because everywhere I went and everything I did, I wanted to show that my life had purpose. And to others, as well as to myself, that my life had a meaning. And in spite of my lack of arms, I could do anything I wanted, within reason, of course. While I was determined to do something, you couldn't stop me until I realised myself I couldn't do it. And that was so true. There were many things I wanted to try and do, but of course I had to think about what I wanted to do. Like I remember going to an area of excuse me, going to an area where I wanted to do some walking, and at one point the terrain got a little bit difficult, and I was trying to go up a bit of a rocky hill, I think, and I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, oh, which way to go? But I finally realised I could go, but it wasn't the same way as everyone else. And I think the Lord showed me through that was my life, that He was showing me that I could still go a certain way, but I couldn't go the same way as other people could go. I had to go my way. And I think that really helped me as well when I was still a youngster. And when I went away anywhere, I would always pack my Bible. And I was because I knew by doing that I was taking the Lord with me. Or should I say the Lord was coming with me. Not that I read it while I was away, because I was really busy, but it was there if I ever needed to read it. I would often quote a scripture whenever I needed to as well, like this one, because I always like scriptures, and that's what kept me going. And another one that I loved very much was Proverbs 3, verses 5 to 6, which a lot of people know, and you should know as well. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. And He has. There are times I do trust Him, and He does show me a better way for my life. And He also showed me, don't try and understand it, just trust me. And I do. I mean, we all try to do it and a certain way, and we all try to think we know better, but we don't always know that better. And as I said before, He was always my best friend, and I could trust Him because He would encourage me to go and try it. And He reminded me of a time when I was little, and I think, with Mum and my little sister, and I hadn't quite gone to school, and I've got some photos of me as a young child up there. And there's the one in the middle is of me and Mum. And I remember going into the bank, and I was trying, these other girls I knew that were my age, because from preschool or from the local area, were coming in, and I was frantically trying to hide or get away or something like that. And I was this age, and I really didn't know what to do. And then it was like I was wanting to get out of the way because I wasn't supposed to be there or something. But I believe the Lord showed my mum to tell me that you have every right to be here. And just with those words, that really blessed me because I realized, yes, I do. I might be different. I might have small arms, but I still have a right to be here because I'm alive. And God got me to this age. And that's why Mum was always the one I looked to as well, because she had words of wisdom to show me to stick it out. And the other two, the one on the bike with my brother, that I just wanted to show you that I couldn't ride the bike, but I was able to ride a red scooter. And that was my freedom on the scooter, plus the swings that I was able to sit on and hold with one arm and sit. But the one on the other side too was when I was little and I couldn't crawl, I just started knew that I could slide on my bottom to get to things. So in my feet there, you don't see it very well, but I have a doll. And I wanted to play with that doll, and that's how I would play with my feet. And I would play just like anyone else with arms, but except I had my feet, and I could lean down. I could lean down and pick up the doll and put the doll on my legs and nurse it like that as a child, and it really, it made me feel normal. I felt normal just even doing something simple like that. But anyway, when my mum said, "You have every right to be here," that really calmed me down. And from then on, I started to have purpose in my life. I knew just those key words that I had every right to be here. And that's the same with all of us. We have every right to be here, whether we have good circumstance, bad circumstance, or ugly situations. We still have the right to be there because God made us in his image because he loves us so much. So going to school, I had purpose. Learning to do things for myself, like going to the bathroom by myself, that was a real purpose in itself, and it just made me feel so much normal and not having to ask too many people for help. Except, maybe on a hot day it got a bit caught up on my wide hips and I had to ask somebody to help, or I had to wiggle and move about before I could do it. Excuse me. And I learnt to do certain things, the shimmy. I don't know if too many people know about the shimmy, but I learnt how to do that pretty quick. And tackling new hurdles in my life helped me to have a purpose as well. I no longer wanted to run away and hide as much, although when it did get really hard, I ran home to my safe haven, but only for a time. Then I was off to my new challenge. That's how I saw life. And also, I was getting to know the Lord a lot more because he told me to trust him, and I did. And I had some friends around me, Christian friends, who really, really helped me as well. Except when I got jealous of them, then they weren't so nice. But they were nice to me all the time, and they looked after me. The Lord looked after me through that. And the Lord still looks after me today. I've got wonderful friends and family around me that help me through things. I don't have to tell them, but just sometimes I'll just be cheery or say hello or welcoming and just do the things that I need them to do, and it just makes my day. And the Lord, I believe that's the Lord working in people. So for yourselves, if having a hard time, just look at your friends or your family that are there for you and see that the Lord will look after you no matter what. and He loves you so much. Through that, I did feel, though, I did have to prove to myself and others I was worthy, even though Jesus always saw me as worthy. That's why I love Him so much. But there are times when I wasn't picked for things, or I wanted to do things and I wasn't picked, and I kept saying, oh, they don't want me here or whatever. But it wasn't that. It was just I wasn't the right person for the job at the time. And the more it still bothered me a lot growing up, because I still saw it as a rejection. But I just then turned my eyes back on Jesus, like the song says, turn your eyes on Jesus, and all the things of earth will grow strangely dim. And I did. I used to sing that to myself a lot. And I love that song. And it just helped me get through the day when I turned my eyes on Jesus, and all the other things of the earth became strangely dim, and my attitude changed. And I couldn't get enough of knowing Jesus. Getting to know Him and trust people were two different things. Trusting people was and sometimes still is a big issue for me, and a big challenge I have to face and figure out. When, for example, when people welcomed me, I felt good. They liked me. But when they were ignoring me, oh, they didn't like me, I would say, oh, they don't like you. What you said is not good enough, or what you did was not good enough. But I didn't quite get that right, and I'm still working on that today for sure. But I know that the Lord's helping me to cry out on Him and to show me the people I can trust and the people I can't. And not so much can't, but just got to be careful with the people that I can be my real self with, or I can be sort of just okay with them, and not to go too deep. Be careful how I express myself to some people, because they don't understand what I'm thinking or feeling. And sometimes I don't even know what I'm feeling or thinking. But I thank the Lord that He's always there with me. And I want to say thanks to the Lord, my pastors and church. I'm learning that I'm still loved, even if I have differing opinions to them and them to me. Being corrected or adjusted doesn't mean I'm being rejected, because that's what I felt. When people were trying to tell me something, I always took it the wrong way, and that I was being rejected. But as I got older, as I said, I began to realize they were only trying to help me see a better way, or the Lord's way. And it was hard being like that, because I didn't know what to think. I mean, even though I remember Mum said to me she was told to let me work it out myself, I think that was just the physical. I still needed some sort of help in my mind how to be around people, because sometimes I go, "Urgh," because I'm frustrated, because I don't know what to tell people. If I'd only know how to tell people what I'm really feeling without getting angry or frustrated, that would have been a bigger help. But I'm still working on it, but I don't do it as much. And my husband does take a lot of what I say to him a bit. I give him a bit of flack. I get frustrated. And I have to say to him, look, it's not frustration at you, it's at me, because I'm trying to tell you something and I can't quite put it into words. And I think some of the things I'm sharing with you now about trusting in the Lord, I think I just need to take a breath and say, Lord, what are you trying to get me to say to people? So I think I've got some more photos of my life. And these photos, the one on the left, or your left, is the photo where I remember being outside with my pet dog, and my guinea pigs are in the caged area, and my dolls, or my sisters and my doll. I think my sister took the photo of me, and because we had one of those old box photos, that's why they're in black and white. So this they were fun to do that photo, and I wanted to do it, but of course I couldn't do it. So my sister who was a little bit younger than me, did it. And that was the time when I cried out to the Lord and I said, Lord, I know you're up there, and I know you hear me. And it was a beautiful blue sky with white clouds like I've got on my front page. And I knew the Lord was up there listening to me. And I said, I know you're listening, and hopefully one day I will hear you back. And that was that. And then the one on the other side was me when in my athletic days. Now, this was a school carnival, a high school carnival, and everybody said, you should go on the long jump. You should go on the long jump, because the long jump, you can do that. You got long legs, you know. But I thought, oh, yeah, that's great. But, of course, I could run. I could beat some of them. But the lifting up and then the falling was another issue. So I just had to make sure I landed straight on my legs, and so I could just walk out without having to fall down and roll out and get up. But they were that was my school carnival, and I don't think I got a prize, but it was fun doing it. And on the next one, I've got me up there in my cozies, because as I showed before, I wanted to show my good strong legs. But I want to tell you a story. Excuse me. I remember going to the beach one time when we were on holidays at Coco, and we were I think it was down South Coco, and I wanted to go. I was strong enough. I think it was about 14 there. I was strong enough to go out in the surf, and strangely enough, the surf was good, but it was flat and not many waves. I just had to jump over a few waves, and I kept going out to try and catch a bigger wave, and kept going out to try and get a bigger wave. And I think I was about 400 to 500 meters out from shore, and I turn around. It was still flat, you know, and I just briefly turn around and I go, oh, wow, I'm way out. I'm way out. I better start going back. And I thought, yeah, I better start going back in case there's a rogue wave and it comes and comes over me and dumps me. Because I felt safe. I was walking out. I was swimming, sort of walking but jumping waves at the same time and walking out. And then that's when I believe the Lord told me to look back. And I looked back and I realised that I was going too far. And it's sort of, and then I turned around and I started walking, and a bit of panic started to set in. And you know how the waves drag you back. Well, I would kept walking forward, and then I'd come back a bit and kept walking forward. And I think it took me about 5 minutes to get out of the water, just casually, but I still had this little bit of panic. But I just wanted to thank the Lord that I trusted him and listened to that still small voice inside of me to say to get out, because I think I finally got out, walked to where Mum was with the towel, and sat down and just sat and thought about it for a long time. And I think then the waves started to get bigger and more able to swim, because I could swim in the waves. I knew I could swim that way. And but I started to see them getting bigger, and I realised that the Lord had kept it flat until I finally got out. And I just trusted the Lord, and I'm grateful to the Lord for that, because he actually saved me. I mean, it wasn't dangerous. Nobody got hurt or died, but for me it could have been dangerous if I hadn't watched it. And the other photo was of me being on a horse. Now, this is back in the trip to Fiji, and I wanted to go on a horse. I loved horses, but I was scared of them at the same time because I didn't understand them. And I was praying, Lord, help me on this horse. And the horse knew I was afraid. He knew I was afraid. And it was bareback, as you can see. There was no saddle. I didn't get up off the ground. I had to go to a rising and put my leg over. And the young boy was on the back. He was about 10 years of age because he was trying to get work for his family, and we had to pay for the horse and the horse ride. And some other girls were there as well, but one of the girls took a photo of me. And the boy stayed on that horse because I was petrified because it was going to bolt, because not long ago before that, I found out my grandmother got on a horse. Now, she was a good horse rider because back in the day they had to learn to ride horses. And the horse bolted and took her off around the block. And I was petrified that the same thing was going to happen to me. But I didn't realise until much later that the horses know your feelings, how you're feeling. And he knew I was feeling anxious, or she knew I was feeling anxious. But it was good. The boy walked the horse. We just walked along the beach with the other girls. The other girls galloped. They knew how to horse ride, but I just walked along, and it's. I just want to say that's another thing ticked off my list, that I was able to ride a horse, and because the Lord was just with me all the time, and I thank Him for that. And I think I've got some more photos I want to show. Oh, and these two are photos of me, what I could do with my feet. Now, the one on the left is me sitting on a special stool that a gentleman made, one of the teachers of woodwork made for me, a stool that could just sit a bit above the bench top so I could make the food preparation. But this one I'm making a slice, a special slice that I found in my sister's home economics book. And it was the lemon slice that people like. And it was just a basic slice. It was just 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of coconut, 1 cup of sugar. Mix it all together with half a pound of butter, or 250 grams of butter. You cook it in the oven for about 15, 18 minutes. Take it out. And then you mix up lemon and juice and icing mix, and you just spread it, and it becomes a really nice biscuit. And I was able to do it back in the day. This is where I was starting to struggle because I was, as you can see, I was getting fatter. And it was hard to do because I had to lean back on the stool as well as, so to balance with my legs. But I did them quite a long time when I was younger, and I loved making that slice and a few other slices. I love cooking. It was good. The other thing on the right is a crocheting that I used to do. I used to do the crocheting and making rugs, for just for my pleasure. And I used to do it on the floor like that. And I had, excuse me, I had the hook. I chose crocheting over knitting, because crocheting was easier to balance. Knitting I could do, but it took a bit, you had to hold both needles and use one foot to put the wool over the needle. It was hard. But I loved it when my mum knitted. She just went really fast. And these are all the things that made me feel that I had a purpose, because I was learning to do all these things as I was growing up and being independent. But I did need to learn to be more emotionally independent, but that came much later. I think I've got some more pictures. I'm not sure what I've got. Sorry. Oh, yeah. This is the choir. This was my first time sort of overseas, but it was actually in Tasmania. We flew from Sydney to Tasmania. But this was the choir. I'm up the top, left-hand side, One, two, three, four. I'm the fifth girl near the microphones. I'm above them in my long hair, and I loved singing. I loved the girls. It was great. It was my freedom. And that was my sole purpose in life, was to sing. And every song I sang, I gave it to the Lord. It was always for the Lord first and then for other people. And he just gave me a beautiful voice to sing. And some of the songs that I sang weren't exactly Christian, but he, at the time, he just knew that my heart was in the right place. So I just want to thank the Lord that I had a passion, and then there was a group of singers I could sing with, and I learnt so much in those 9 years of being in the choir. And some of the girls, I apologise if you ever see this. I did not mean to embarrass you, but they're all, you know, parents now, so it's all different. So I just wanted to show you my real main thing was choir. And I love pink, so I had a pink dress on. All right. So when I did commit my way to the Lord, he definitely showed me a better, more clearer way. And of course, when I was frustrated and disappointed with things, the Lord would give me that scripture in Psalm 46, verse 10, where he said, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." And that just kept me going, because he just, excuse me, he just kept me to stay calm. When I get frustrated or got frustrated, to stay calm, he said, just take a breath, calm down, and let me be God. Let me show you a better way. And these are my last two photos. My husband and I have a yacht, and I just thought I'd show you, not to boast about having the yacht, but to see the first photo on the left. That's me balancing on the bow, whatever the front part of the boat is. And it was quite exhilarating just to be up there in the front and just feeling, that I could stand on the front of the boat, because normally when it's rocking, I can't do anything. But the other photo, this was in winter, we decided to go on the boat. It's up near Lion Island, and we were going towards, I was just steering, it was motoring, it wasn't sailing. And because I'm a bit terrified of sailing, but I know my husband's a very experienced sailor. So I just wanted to show you that I could manage, due to the big wheel, to steer the yacht, while my husband had to do some things up the front, fix up some things. And it was it was so funny. I was sailing towards, like, to go out to sea, but I didn't want to go to sea. We weren't going. But I just was singing that song, I am sailing, I am sailing across the sea. And I loved that song. I did love it. And it was just all the things that I could do. The Lord just blessed me, and with the ability to do things, whatever I put my mind to. I mean, at first with the boat, it's like, oh, I don't know if I could get on it. And in actual fact, the first day we got the boat, we were taking it out of North Head up to Brooklyn. And we got there late because we were trying to get dinner and everything. And I had to get from the tender, which is that little boat at the back on the right-hand picture, from there out of the tender onto the back of the yacht. Now, because I didn't know, and I didn't have my sea legs, as they call it, I was, going, oh, screaming, and all the neighbours, I'm sure, could hear us. And Wayne was trying his best to try and help me get up. And I think I finally got in the boat after falling between the tender and the boat and getting half one leg and half my skirt wet. But I finally got on the boat. And then after that, I tell you what, I knew how to get off the tender onto the boat. So that was some fun years. And we had our little puppy with us at the time, and she was barking at us and making a big noise. And of course, we were, as I said, the houses surrounded us, and the dog barking and me screaming was bouncing off the things. But I was determined to get on that boat, and that I did. So I just wanted to thank the Lord that wherever I went, He was always with me. When I went overseas with the choir, He was always there with me. And I would sing songs to Him and for Him. And sort of that's me exalting Him, even in the other nations. And it was just so amazing what God has done for me. I really am blessed with knowing the Lord. And I just want to thank the Lord. And also, of course, me driving. That was one thing I really wanted to do as well. And you've seen, if you've been watching my podcast, you'll see that I had a stint about driving on the podcast. And that was so freeing. I think when I got the car and I got my P's, Mum would drive the car to school because I was still going to school. I was in year 12. And I'd go with Mum to school, and so would my sister. We'd go in the red Mazda or the red Datsun. And then I'd say, Mum, can I take the car home? And she said, what? She said, yeah, as long as she picked me up. And I'd say, what time? And she'd say, I'll come back about 5, because she was working in the office. And that was a real blessing to me, because she was able to help me get changed for PE and for sport. And then I was able to be independent with that rather than go in the change rooms. And because, as I've said before, back in the day, there was no personal assistant for me, not like they have now. I had to depend on friends and family to help me out. So that's what I did. And driving, so when I'd leave school, I'd go home, drop my bag, get my license out of my school bag because I had it with me in my wallet. And then I'd go for just a little drive around the street, and the freedom I felt by driving, I just couldn't thank the Lord enough for letting me, first of all, get my license the first time round, and then having the car and having the freedom to drive. And because back in the day, it was very hard for us. And as I said, Brett helped me, and there was Brett and Laura and myself. We learnt to drive with our feet because we were the only 3 that had really short arms to no arms at all, and we could drive with our feet. And that was the blessing, because I knew I couldn't drive with my hands. I don't have the strength to turn the wheel. But the Datsun Skyline was also power steering, which really helped me a lot, and it helped me get through. So I think I've just got something else I might need to share. I've already said. Yeah. So I've said about when I got agitated about things, the Lord reminded me to be still, calm down, and know that He is God and there for me. So He did. And when I did, this beautiful peace would come over me that only He could give me. And I would be calm and feel Him with me. And I just want to share that with you, because He showed me after that first time when Mum said you had every right to be here. That was the Lord saying, stop with the whining and running away. Turn around and face the world, because your life has a purpose. And what you do and what you are going to achieve in your life has purpose and meaning for me. And because He was able to direct me in that way, I did start going forward a lot more. I think things improved. I tried harder. I did my best at things. And of course, I had my downfalls. I mean, I wasn't a perfect child. I wasn't a bad child. I wasn't always good, but I was where the Lord wanted me to be. Excuse me. And I give thanks to the Lord for that, because He gave me purpose. And that's why I want people to know that your life has a purpose too. And that's why I called it Life with a Purpose. Because each one of you is called to do something special in your life. You need to know and to understand that you have a calling on your life. And the first calling is to let you know that Jesus loves you and He wants you to be a part of His kingdom. Excuse me. Excuse me, I've been struggling all week with a sore throat. And I want you to know that He loves you very much and He wants you to come follow Him because He will give you that purpose. There's something in your life that's missing. How about asking Jesus to come into your life and see what He does? Because you have a purpose in this world. You are not a disabled person. You are not unable to do things. If you're a normal person, you're not disabled either. You've got reasons and purposes for being here. And He loves you because He didn't make a mistake. No one is a mistake. He knows you because remember, before you were formed in your mother's womb, He knew you. Now it's up to you whether you want Him to be a part of your life. Or you can keep going the way you're going. But Jesus loves you and me very much. And He wants you to know that. You are not alone, as I was not alone. And He's there for you. All you need to do is invite Him in. And see what I accomplished with that too. There's many more things I did, but the Lord just reminded me of these. But I just want to give honor and thanks to the Lord for what He's done for me in my life and where He's taking me. I mean, I'm still got a long way to go. I've still got things to learn and things to do. But I just want to thank Him. And perhaps you do too. Perhaps He's the one that's been keeping you going. Maybe you've had a sad life or a bad life. But it can stop with you and move on to a better life. And as I said, if you want to reach out to me and talk to me some more, you're welcome to. You can reach out to me on the email, sg.jerome419@gmail.com. I'll leave it in the comments below. Click and like it if you're watching me on Rumble. Click like if you like it. Click follow to follow me. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If anyone has any questions they'd like me to answer, please put the question down the bottom or email it to me. I'm happy to help. If anyone needs me to share a bit more on my life or what they would like to know about any aspect of my life, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. And thank you for listening. And just know that Jesus loves you. And He's always there for you. He has not forgotten. You are not forgotten. You will always be in His heart. Just cry out on Him and ask Him into your heart. Say, Jesus, please come into my heart and show me what you want me to do. And reach out to me and I'll let you know. If you're in the Sydney area, I'll let you know where my church is. And you can come down and you can get in contact with me and I'll let you know and we can work something out, or we can meet up with coffee if you're in the Sydney area. And I just want to say to you that you're not alone. And remember, Jesus loves you. Good night. Good day. Thank you for listening to my podcast. And I love you very much. Bye for now.